Well, my Spanish-speaking friends will know what ajo means, but why would you call a town in Arizona ajo? Let's go find out. Well, this is Artist's Alley. Wasn't on the menu today, but let's go check it out. Lots of towns seem to have little mural acceptable zones. Very cool. There's one more right over here. Alright, let's get going to our next stop. Well, I blew right by the entrance to the plaza where I was going, and led me to the little artist stop there, but this is the center, the crux, the main place of ajo. We're going to talk about this today. Looks like there's something going on in the square. Oh, it's Dios de Muertos. The third day. Well, this is one of the stops in ajo, and just to make a note, ajo is garlic in Spanish, and the reason why this town is named ajo or garlic is not because of garlic. It is named that because it's similar to the Tohono O'odham name ojo, which is red or rust, and it is a Native American tribe or First Peoples tribe that would come here in this general vicinity to get their red pigment. So Ojo was the red pigment that they would come here for. Lo and behold, it led to mineral finds, and what this town was based on, the New Cornelia mine. So the New Cornelia mine was owned by John Campbell Greenway, and he built this plaza behind me in the early 1920s, about 1922. It's a very combination of Art Deco and Southwest Mission style. And we're going to take a walk around, take a look around. It was based here to be part of the community, to be a community center. The post office is here. The old rail stop used to be here. It was just a center of town. He wanted this to be just part of the community and bring people here as a congregation together. Behind me, or behind you, are actually two mission-style churches we'll go visit later. But this town, while the mine has played out, it still continues to thrive, I think, because of the that basis that we want this to be here for a long time. And it's just a pretty cool little town. It's not a ghost town. It's not like Jerome. It still thrives. It still exists, and still a very healthy community. So today the Dios de Muertos festival is going on, so I'll be competing with a little bit of music and festivities, but that's all right. This is the Central Green. It's kind of a neat place to have a festival or spend an afternoon as a picnic. I believe it's circled by either date palms or Phoenician palms. Let's cross the Circle Road. I don't know if you can see up at the top, there's some neon up there that says Oasis. I believe that this used to be a theater. And actually, yes, you can see the ticket booth. And it's a coffee house now. Someone's got a thrift store. Kind of a sleepy little main street. Just walking down the pavilion area, I guess you would call it. This seems very grand and large, and looking out into the town square, it just really, the place looks just very huge, probably bigger than it actually is. There's a coffee shop. Now this is the post office, and it has been here since about the opening, and you can tell by the Art Deco lettering. Now we're coming up on the rail area. Just to my left you can see a Kwanzaa hut where they used to take freight in. And this was the main thoroughfare, kind of like at the airport where you pick up and drop off people. A nice little parkway and walkway for pedestrians. Again, this is all Spanish Mission style, and a nice mix of Art Deco to go with it. Just the detail of how this place was built is just really neat. Things that they used to build in the 20s and 30s, and prior to that is much different than we do today. Now this is the main rail area, and this is where the actual train tickets were sold, and people would come and pick up folks. It is now the visitor center. And unfortunately they're closed, but they are, the depot is on the National Register of Historic Places. Again, this was built in the 20s, and just things like this weren't really done, especially by mining companies. This was a mining town. I don't know if there was private property here, I'm assuming surrounding here, but also you had a mining town. You basically lived in the mining domiciles, and it was part of your payment package. But this was like, this plaza would have been to the effect of a modern mall that are kind of going by the wayside now, but this would have been just unthought of in a lot of even larger towns by 10-15 fold. There's art shops and craft shops and all kinds of things. The plaza itself, while being inviting and visually aesthetic, there's a actual natural breeze that seems to carry through the archways. But just looking at me, I'm 6'1", and behind me you can see how tall the arches are. Just really neat architecture. Unfortunately, many of the stores are closed today. We're going to cross the street real quick and check out the two mission-style churches. This is the Ajo Federated Church, and through the philanthropy of John Campbell Greenway in 1926, it was built. For all the bad things you hear about mining towns and mine owners and things like that, this is kind of a different place. Very pretty architecture. This is the Immaculate Conception Church. I did not get a date on when this church was built. I would assume it's probably right around the same era. Very pretty mission-style church. And I get a kind of a feeling for the centralization of this town and the sense of a community that wanted to be built here. You had the rail yard, you had post office, the library, this giant plaza with green space in the middle, if you want to call it that, or central green. You had the two churches right across the street. You've got the courthouse over there, and then just right around the corner, and we'll walk up to it soon, you can probably see between these trees, is the high school. It's a beautiful day to walk around Arizona. It's probably in the upper 70s or low 80s, dry air, and just a really neat day to stop by Ajo and check out the scenes with the festival going on. It was totally random. I had no idea it was going on. Just lucked out superbly. And this is the Curley school campus. Just for this size of town in that era, this was like state-of-the-art in remote southern Arizona. The things that people brought here because they wanted to not just build a mine, which I'm assuming they thought would last for years, but they wanted to build a town that would last even longer. Let's go up the Rocky Balboa stairs. Right now it's looks like a incubator, I guess you would say, for artists and home businesses. I guess you can probably rent or lease space out of here. But just the gardens that were put in, the monument to education. And that's one of the foundations of the Arizona Constitution is education, believe it or not. Aside from what you hear in the news. was built in 1919. As I was saying earlier, right over my shoulder, you can see a straight line right down to the rail station and to the plaza. You can kind of smell the age here. This was enlarged in the 20s, right around the growth of the school or the town. These must have been the administration offices and principal's office. But you can imagine your first day heading into school. It had to be kind of almost intimidating. Now, if you grew up back east and you went to a school of this vintage, which I did, my elementary school was built in 1913, you can see these windows above the doors, and you might say, what the heck are they putting windows above the doors and windows in the wall? Because there's a classroom on the other side. Well, what these transoms and windows are for is they didn't have the electricity we do today, and the light would permeate through to the corridors, so you didn't have to spend all that money on electricity to light these. Plus, they all open up and they allow ventilation throughout the school. Let's go up and see what's upstairs. Kind of a dragon architectural feature on the railings. I'm not sure what that was for. Really not sure what you can go into and what you can't. I would say that's the 1920s edition out there. The concrete stairs you can see are worn from the years of use. It must have been solitary confinement, a short door. Now the auditorium, which is right across from the main entrance, is locked up. That's too bad. Would have been neat to see. Maybe if I put you guys up against the window, you can see in there. I'm gonna get back over across the street. We're going to cross the plaza here and get back on the bike and get out, get on to our next destination. I'll say goodbye to the plaza and Ajo. Take a little ride. Well, thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios.